Or is it just the way? Maybe scroll screen see it. Okay. All right.
Shalom, Israel. We're at ISUPK, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And this is a Oakland Sabbath service. And we're going to say,
It's you. What's for P1?
Yaira Sharala. Okay, we're going to Wapam Hakodam and face east so we can get started with the Lord's prayers and the blessings. All right, the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kodash.
Kodash.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Shemka.
Shemka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malakwaka.
Malakwaka.
Taba'ah.
Taba'ah.
Matazayaka.
Matzaka.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Asha.
Asha.
Baharataza.
Baharataza.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Bashemayim.
Bashemayim.
Lathalana.
Lathalana.
Lakam.
Lakam.
Kal.
Kal.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Wasalakna.
Wasalakna.
Tabawafna.
Kawawafna.
Kasalakna.
Kasalakna.
Kabawaf Yena.
Kawawaf Yeno.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Tabayai now.
Tabayai now.
Manasai 1.
Manasai 1.
Abal.
Abal.
Hawashai now.
Hawashai now.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Rai.
Rai.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Laka.
Laka.
Hamalakwa.
Hamalakwa.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Wahatapara.
Watapara.
Wahayawalami.
I will love you.
Amen.
Amen.
English.
In English. All right. Our Father.
Our Father.
Which art in heaven.
Which art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
In earth.
In earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day.
Our daily bread.
Our daily bread.
And forgive us our debts.
Give us our debt.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debt.
And lead us not.
And lead us not.
Into temptation.
Into temptation.
But deliver us.
But deliver us.
From evil.
From evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it.
Amen.
Bless Israel, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai,
Barak Lanawa,
Barak Lanawa,
Waya Sharala,
Waya Sharala,
Waya Bayat,
Wahariyat,
Saparium,
Saporium,
Barak,
Barak,
Rapa'ah,
Rapa'ah,
Magan,
Magan,
Agan,
Agan,
Hashem Yahweh Shai,
Hashem Yahweh Shai,
the water Aman.
the water Aman. Right? What we just said in English was Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahweh Shai,
in the name of Yahweh Shai,
bless us,
and
Israel,
Israel,
and the school,
bless,
heal,
shield,
protect, in the name of Yahweh Shai.
in the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. We're going to Hakap the power. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai,
Baruch Shai,
Baruch Shai,
Lathan Lanawa,
Athalanaw,
Hakak,
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 La Rapa'ah,
Larapa'ah,
Kal Makala,
Kal Makala,
Makal Manawa,
Makal Madawa,
Hakak,
Hakak,
La Tahar,
Latahor,
Hamatazarium,
Hamatazorium,
Hakak,
Hakak,
La Hakwiyam,
Lahakim,
Mahatiyam,
Mahakim,
Hakak,
Hakak,
Al Rakawa,
Awakawa,
Hamata'ala,
Amatala,
La Garashan,
Garishan,
Bahashim Yahweh Shai,
Hashem Yahweh Shai,
the water Aman.
the water Aman. Right. In English, Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahweh Shai,
in the name of Yahweh Shai,
please give us the power,
please give us the
the
power,
power to heal
the power to heal
all manner of sickness,
all manner of sickness,
and all manner of disease,
all manner of disease,
the power to cleanse the lepers,
the power to cleanse the
the
leper,
power to raise the
the
dead,
power to raise the dead,
the power against unclean
the
spirits,
power against unclean spirits,
to cast them out.
to cast them out.
In the name of Yahweh
In the
Shai,
name of Yahweh Shai,
thank you.
thank you.
So be it.
So be it. We're going to do the blessings. Barak,
Barak,
Atah,
Atah,
Yahweh Wa Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Wa
Wa
Yahweh Shai,
Maka'ala,
Wa Maka'ala,
Waha, Alahayim,
Wa Alahayim,
Matazabia,
Zavi,
Alawat Yahana,
Alawak Yahan,
Alawapium,
Ha'alawafim,
Asaranium,
Pasaranyam,
Aquatazanyanyam,
Aquatazanyam,
Akak Yayam,
Ha'akal Al Yum,
Waha Aquatium,
Wa Akwafim,
Waha Aquatium,
Wa Akwafim,
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
The water of mine.
The water of mine. Right. In English. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahushua.
And Yahushua.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yohanan.
Commanding General Yohanan.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. We're going to do Psalms 121. Aisha. Aisha.
Aisha.
Ayanya.
Ayanya.
Ahaharia.
Ahaharia.
Mahayan.
Mahayan.
Yaba'a.
Yaba'a.
Izaria.
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 Ma'ain.
Ma'ain.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Asha.
Asha.
Shamayam.
Shamayam.
Wa'arataza.
Wa'arataza.
Al Yathan.
Ayathan.
Lamawa.
Lamawa.
Regalka.
Regalka.
Al Yanawam.
Yanawam.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Ana.
Ana.
La'a.
La'a.
Yanawam.
Yanawam.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yayashun.
Yashun.
Shawamar.
Shawamar.
Yasharala.
Yasharala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Tazalka.
Tazalka.
Al Yad.
Aliyah.
Yamyaka.
Amika.
Yamawam.
Yamamam.
Ashamash.
Ashamash.
La'a.
La'a.
Yakaka.
Yakaka.
Wayara.
Wayara.
Balayala.
Balayala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Makel Ra.
Kalrai.
Yashamar.
Yashamor.
Afnapash.
Afnapash.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamar.
Yashamor.
Taza Afka.
Taza'af.
Wabawa Afka.
Wabu'af.
Ma'ait.
Ma'ai.
Wa'ai Al Walam.
Wa'ai Awalam. Right, in English. I will lift up mine eyes
I will lift up my eyes
unto the hills,
unto the hills.
from whence cometh my help.
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh,
My help's coming from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he
he
that keepeth Israel
that keepeth
shall
Israel
neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee
Yahweh shall preserve thee
from all evil.
from all evil.
He shall preserve thy
He
soul.
shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in
and thy coming in.
from this time
From
forth
this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
Right.
All right. Psalms 83. Alahayim.
Alahai,
Al Damayalaka.
Adamayalaka,
Al Takarash.
Al-Takarash,
Al Tashakwat.
Al-Tashakwat,
Al Kayahana.
Al-Kayahana,
Wayabyaka.
Awayabik,
Yahama.
Hama,
Yawam.
Yawam,
Ra'ash.
Ash,
Al Amaka.
Al-Amak,
Yarayamwa.
Irayamwa,
Sawada.
Sawada,
Wayata.
Wayata,
Yaitazawa.
Aitazawa,
Al Tazapon one Yaka.
Al-Tazapawan Yaka,
Marwa.
Amar,
Lakawa.
Lakawa,
Wanakak Yadam.
Kakidam,
Magalia.
Magai,
Wa'a. Wala'a.
Wala'a,
Yazakar.
Yazakar,
Shamir Asharala.
Shem Yasharala,
Iwada.
Awuda,
Kaya.
Kaya,
Na'ai Tazawa.
Aitazawa,
Laba.
Laba,
Yakadwa.
Yakadwa,
Al Yaka.
Al-Yaka,
Varyat.
Waryat,
Yakaratwa.
Yakarafwa,
Alahayim.
Alahayam,
Adawam.
Adawam,
Wayashmai.
Wayashamai,
Alayam.
Aliyam,
Mawa'aba.
Mawa'aba,
Wahagariam.
Wahagariam,
Gabal.
Gabal,
Wa'aimawan.
Wa'amawan,
Wa'aimalak.
Wa'amalak,
Alashaf.
Alashah,
I'm Yeshabia.
I'm Yeshavi,
Tazawar.
Tazawar,
Gamasha War.
Amasha War,
Nalawa.
Nalawa,
Imam.
Imam,
Hayawa.
Hayawa,
Zarawai.
Zarawai,
Labanya Lawa.
Labanya Lawa,
Salah.
Salah,
Ashalaham.
Ashalaham,
Hamadyan.
Imad,
Kayasara'a.
Kasaya Sara'ah,
Kayabyan.
Kayabyan,
Banakal.
Anakal,
Kwayashwan.
Koyashwan,
Nashamatwa.
Nashamadwa,
Ba'ayan Da'ara.
Ayanda Ra'ah,
Hayawa.
Hayawa,
Daman.
Daman,
Ladama.
Ladama,
Shayatamwa.
Shayatumwa,
Nadaya Mawa.
Nadaya Mawa,
Kaya Arab.
Kaya Arab,
Wakaza'aba.
Wakaza'aba,
Wakazabak.
Wakazabak,
Wakatazar.
Wakatazor,
Mana'ai.
Mala'ah,
Kal Nasaya Kamwa.
Kal Nasaya Kamwa,
Ashar.
Ashur,
Amarwa.
Amarwa,
Nayarashad.
Naya Rashad,
Lanawa.
Nanawa,
Af.
Ah,
Na'awaf,
Awaf,
Alahayim,
Alahayim,
Alahaya,
Alahayab,
Shayatumwa,
Shayatumwa,
Kagalgula,
Kagagla,
Kukwash,
Kukosh,
Lapunya Robaka,
Panya Rawaka,
Ka'ash,
Farash,
Daba Ira Ya'ira,
Baba Ira,
Wakalaha, Wakal Halaba,
Waka Halaba,
Talahat,
Talahat,
Hariyam,
Hariyam,
Kun,
Kun,
Daradakma,
Daradakma,
Basa Irika,
Basa Irika,
Wabasa Wathpaska,
Basa Wapaf,
Daba Halam,
Baba Halam,
Mala'a,
Mala'a,
Panyaham,
Panyaham,
Kuala Wam,
Kuala
Wayabakwashwa,
Wayabakwashwa,
Shimka,
Shimka,
Yahawa,
Yahweh,
Yabashwa,
Wayabo,
Yabashwa,
Yabashwa,
Wayabahawa,
Wayabahawa,
Ijai,
Ijai,
Wayakaparwa,
Wayakaparwa,
Wayabadwa,
Wayabadwa,
Wayadaiwa,
Wayadaiwa,
Kaya Ata,
Kaya Ata,
Shimka,
Shimka,
Yahawa,
Yahweh,
Labatka,
Labaka,
Al Yawam,
Ayawam,
Alkaha Arataza,
Alkaha Rasta. In the English, keep not thou silent,
Keep not thou silent.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
hold not thy peace,
hold not thy peace,
and be not still,
and be not still.
O my power.
O my power.
For lo,
For
thine enemies make a tumult,
thy enemies make a tumult,
and they that hate thee
and they that hate
have
thee
lifted up the head.
have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel
They have taken craft against thy people,
and consulted against
thy
hidden ones.
hidden ones.
They have said,
Come,
and let us cut them
and
off
let us cut them off
from being a nation,
from being a nation,
that the name of Israel
that the name of
may
Israel
be no more
may be no more
in
in
remembrance.
remembrance.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one
They
consent.
are confederate against thee,
They are confederate against
the
thee,
tabernacles of Edom,
the tabernacles of Edom,
and the Ishmaelites,
and the
of
Ishmaelites,
Moab,
of Moab,
and the Hagarenes,
and the Hagarenes,
Gabal,
Gabal,
and Ammon,
and
and
Ammon,
Amalek,
and
the
Amalek,
Philistines,
the Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Asher also is joined with them.
Asher is also joined with
They
them.
have hope in the children of
They
Lot.
have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah,
Salah.
do unto them as unto the Midianites.
Do unto them as unto the
As
Midianites.
to Sisera,
As to Sisera.
as to Jabin,
As to Jack.
at the brook of
At
Kison,
the brook of Kison.
which perished at Endor.
Which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb,
Make their nobles like Oreb.
and like Zeb.
And like Zeb.
Yea,
Yea.
all their princes as Zabah,
All the princes as Zabah.
and as Almunah,
And as Zalmunna.
who said,
Who said,
let us take to ourselves
let us take to ourselves
the houses of Yahweh
the houses of Yahweh
in possession.
in possession.
O my power,
Oh my power.
make them like a wheel,
Make them like a wheel.
as the stubble before the wind,
As a stubble before
as
the
the
wind.
fire burneth the wood,
As a fire burneth the wood.
and as the flame set the mountains on
And
fire.
the flame set the mountains on
So
fire.
persecute them
So persecute
with
them
thy tempest,
with thy tempest.
and make them afraid
And make them afraid
with thy storm.
with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with
that they
shame.
may seek thy name.
That they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh.
let them be confounded
Let them be confounded.
and troubled
And
forever.
troubled forever.
Yea,
Yea.
let them be put to shame
Let them be put to shame.
and perish,
And perish.
that men may know
That men may know.
that thou,
That thou.
whose name
Whose
alone
name alone.
is Yahweh,
Is Yahweh.
art the most high
Art the most high.
over all the earth.
Over all the earth.
Right.
Sorry, which means turn. And okay, get shouted. Be seated.
Right.
Yeah.
Alright, go ahead.
Okay, where we left off at, let's get the most high hand.
That's right.
Okay, we left off at Genesis 38 and 6.
Yep.
So
We got 11 o'clock.
Genesis 38 and 6 is Waya Korah, Yaha Wada, Asha, Ira, Ira, Ira,
The I, yeah, that's a word. The I. Yeah, the I. Liar.
Baka Wa Sham, Shamha, Washaham, Washama, Shama, Tamar, Wayahaya, Ira, Bakawar, Waha, Wada, Ir, Ba'ayanwa, see Ba'ayanwa, Ba'ayanwa, Yahawa, Yahweh, Yahweh,
Right.
Wayamaswa, Yahawa, Yahawa,
You know, it's it just happens, man.
Waya Mar, Yahawada, Yahawada.
Right.
La wa na msi waha la wa na anan
Yeah.
ba'a al ashath afyaka waya bum ath waha kwam the rai la ya ya ka akika waya dai our nana our nun
That's his name. On it. He spilled C on it.
Oh,
One nine.
our nun kaya la lawa yaha ya Yahweh,
Oh, they say this spell is different. Okay. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah. The war. Yeah. Yeah. And here it's just I believe. Let me see. It might be. Maybe. Oh, you're right. You're right. It's like that. Yeah. Yeah.
See, Haza Rai, Wahaya, Wahawi,
Yeah, I think you had the right word. Yeah. Yeah.
Wahaya, Kam, up, out, Ba'a, Al, Ashath, Af Yawa, Washa, Af, Arataza, Laba, Lafwa, Na, An, Done, the Rai, La, Up, Yawa, Waya Rai, but I Yanwa, no, but I Yan Ya, Yahweh, Asherah, Aisha, Wayamath, Gum, Athwa, Waya Mar, Yahawada, Latamar, Kalathwa, Shabya, Alamana, Bayath, Sabayaka, Ide, Yagadal, Shalah, Banya, Kaya, Amar, Pun, Yamawath, Gum, Hawaya, Ka'ath Yawa, Watalak, Tamar, Wata Shab, Bayath, 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 Abayaha, Baya, Waya Rabwa, Haya Wam Yam, Wata Math, Bath, Y, Math, Miss Shath, Yahawada, Wayan Kam, Yahawada, Waya Al, Gaza, Tazia, Taza Anwa, Hawa, Waka Ra, Iowa, Ida Lamwa, Tamana, Tamanata.
I think that's it.
6. Okay, and Judah took a wife from his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. Verse 7. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of Yahweh, and Yahweh slew him.
Right. So this is like you said, we're picking up from last week. We were leaving off with the genealogy of who Judah had, the sons of Judah, one of the 12 children of Israel. And first and foremost, it's saying that this brother was living a life that was displeasing to the Lord, and the Lord put him to death. So this is something we go out and we tell brothers in the world. This is something that I didn't want to hear in the world. When you see brothers on the street at camp and they say, if you're a drug dealer, you're going to get put to death.
Right.
That touched home. I'm like, man,
Right.
these brothers are serious about this. You know, it's cool when you hear, you know, these homosexuals are going to get put to death. And everyone's like, yeah, you know, that's right. But they start, you a pimp, you a drug dealer, you this and that. You can get put death to two. You're gonna get put to death too. Living a life that's displeasing to the Lord, the wages of sin are death.
Right.
And so you always want to fear the Lord. They say the beginning of wisdom is to fear the Lord.
Damn right.
Salaki, 1 second. Shalom, Mark, I'm in Sabbath service right now. All right. No sweat, no sweat. You can call into the class if you want. We're on the phone line.
Oh, okay. So I'm calling right now?
Con.
All right. Well, I want to come in.
All right. Most High Christ.
What time Christ?
If you have a question, just ask it in the class. All right. All right. Salaki. So yeah, if you're living a life that's displeasing to the Lord, you can get put to death by the Lord. Like I said, the wages of sin are death. And so that's something that we're seeing a lesson to be learned from his first son, Er. Let's keep going.
Okay, verse 8. And Judah said unto Onan, Go in unto thy brother's wife and marry her and raise up seed to thy brother.
Right. So this is an Israelite tradition. If a man was with a woman and he didn't have any children with her, that was his wife, and he died. That woman wasn't supposed to go and get on a date nap, go to the club, just go find whoever to deal with. It was that brother's duty to raise up seed and continue that brother's bloodline. See, being a son of Israel is the same as being a son of Judah. You know, so think about that. This was a son of Judah. He was a Judite. If that sister went and dealt with someone else, she dealt with an Edomite, dealt with whoever, his wife would not raise up seed to that same brother's tribe, to that same brother's, family bloodline.
Right.
And so that was the tradition, is that's what a good brother was supposed to do. It sounds crazy to American society today.
Right.
Sounds something that would be off and weird at your uncle. But you got to think, like I said, your Y chromosome, the thing that makes you a man, you get it from your father.
Okay.
And so your brother has the exact same DNA as you. You know, if you have the same mother and father, they say your DNA is pretty much almost 99.9% the same. Regardless of how you act or whatever, you and your blood brother and sisters have basically the same DNA. So your brother getting with your woman and bringing a seed is almost like bringing one of your children into the world.
Right.
And so that's why the Lord put this in here.
If I may.
Go ahead, please.
Not being taught this custom may seem weird, you know what I'm saying, because we wasn't taught this custom. Our oppressors wasn't letting us know what our heritage was and how we're supposed to do things according to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? These customs that are Israelites' customs. We was taught what America has taught us. We all, try to survive in this world, just like you were saying, being a dope dealer, you know what I'm saying, is something that we learn from being in this world. We've been taught to survive, yes. We've been taught, we have that mechanism in us to survive.
Right.
But that mechanism, the correct mechanism wasn't taught to us. They wasn't teaching these in our schools, in the school I was coming up in, you know what I'm saying? None of this was spoken of, you know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have no conscientious of, how to continue your heritage, how to continue your being an Israelite and the customs of being an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? So it goes back, it goes back deep what our oppressor has done to us, destroyed us, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
We think, being a drug dealer is something cool, you know what I'm saying? You having fast money, you know what I'm saying? You doing this, you having all these, these girls, you throwing your women, we throwing our women away, you know what I'm saying? And picking up the next, you know what I'm saying? And going on and blah, 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 on down the line. But the heritage of the Israelite is just what he said. This is what these verses were saying, coming into, Genesis 38 and 6 and 8, just like he was coming out with. With these heritage, you know what I'm saying, we need to learn, you know what I'm saying? So yes, it seems unnatural to what we're saying and it don't seem real, but this is our heritage. This is what we need to come back to, and this is what, keeps our nation going, you know what I'm saying? So I just had to bring that up.
Right. And for example, I mean, in the world, if you have a good family, good solid brother, that's something you would is damn near something that if you have the right mind, you would want to see that in a certain extent. I wouldn't just want my woman to go out and just meet some random
Right.
dude at the club, and
Right.
that, you know, she's stressed out because I done passed on, and now and especially coming into the ISUPK, we know we all brothers in this truth. So God forbid that I pass away, but if I
Right.
did, I would want my wife to get a brother in the truth,
Right.
to know that my kids will be raised up in the truth. So
Right.
it's not that weird once you really understand and love your nation of people, and you come from a righteous nation. You know, it ain't no. Go ahead.
What chapter and verse are we at, Arwan?
No sweat. We're in Genesis chapter 38 in about verse
Going to verse 9.
9, right? So we'll read verse 8 again real quickly, and let's keep going.
Okay. Judah said unto Onan, go into thy brother's wife and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother.
Right. Keep going.
Verse 9. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass when he went into his brother's wife that he spilt the seed on the ground.
Right. So he knew that this seed is going to pass on the name of his brother. That's what's going to happen. He's going to go and represent his brother's line and be underneath him. And so he's saying that this is not going to be my seed. And so he basically what we call pulled out. He pulled out. He didn't, go ahead.
I apologize. Could you tell me it one more time?
No sweat. Genesis chapter 38 and verse 9. Now we're at. Right. So start from the middle of verse 9 again.
Okay.
All
right. Okay. And it came to pass when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilt the seed on the ground.
Right. And so one thing right here comes from this is like, man, he basically slept with this woman and had no intentions of doing what he was supposed to be doing.
Right.
So that was completely unrighteous for this brother to do that. It's like there is an option in the law, statutes, and commandments. If you don't want to raise seed up to your brother, you can not do it, and the sister will come and slap you with a shoe and say you didn't want to raise up seed. We're gonna pull this precept. It's in the law, statutes, and commandments. So lock it. Let me see. I think it's in Leviticus or it might be in Numbers. Don't want to raise up seed. Slap. Let me see if I can find it. Is this a precept that if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. You will be looked down upon by your culture and looked down upon by your people. Phone's moving a little slow for a second, but you don't have to do this. Let me see. I might be able to find it. If I can't find it, I'll look really quickly. If not, then we'll just go ahead. Let's see. Leviticus trespass. Yeah, I should have had that. Right. Deuteronomy 25 and 5. Let's see. That's it. Deuteronomy 25 5. That might be it. Right. Okay. You can pull Deuteronomy 25 and 5. So this is the precept, so like it for for taking a second. But this brother had the option. He knew he did not have to do this. And that's basically like taking advantage of this woman by sleeping with her and not really putting the seed in her and basically sleeping with her for nothing.
Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 5. If brethren dwell together and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband brother shall go into her and take her to him wife and perform the duty of a husband's brother unto her.
Right, he shall perform the duty. Give this brother a line to continue. It's just like a lot of black people in our families. If you have a relative that passed on early or just was a relative that people liked and they passed on, they usually get that name. You're named after, or your middle name was after your Uncle Clarence. I had a Uncle Jimmy. His name was James. As soon as he died, 1 year, the next year, my aunt had a son, and she named his middle name was James. That's the reason why, because we keeping his name alive. And that's what this was about. You keeping your brother's name alive, you keeping his bloodline alive.
Right.
That's why it's called the duty of the brother. And let's keep going.
Okay.
Verse 6. No, read verse 6.
Okay, verse 6. Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 6. And it shall be that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead.
Right, that's what I was just saying. All right, keeping that name alive.
That his name be not put out of Israel.
Exactly. That name is going to continue that line. He's representing that line. He's representing that DNA, that Y chromosome of the father that passed. Let's keep going.
Verse 7. And if the man like not to take his brother's wife, then let his brother's wife go out and go up to the gate unto the elders and say, my husband's brother refused to raise up unto his brother's name, brother a name in Israel. He will not perform the duty of my husband's brother.
Right. So she going among the elders and telling them, and then we can drop down to verse 9. This is what was supposed to happen.
Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 9. Then shall his brother's wife come unto him in the presence of the elders and loose his shoe from off his feet and spit in his face, and shall answer and say, so shall it be done unto the man that will not build up his brother's house.
Right. So this is just, completely disrespectful. We know Israelite culture is a culture based on respect. Black Hispanics and Native American Indians are definitely about respect, man. How many brothers have died over disrespectful things? And so for the law to say, for the Bible to say that a woman, especially we know in our culture, women were raised to respect the men. For them to say that a woman could come and take your shoe off and spit in your face, it means that you were doing something that was completely looked down upon.
Right.
And that you were being dishonorable to be dishonored so publicly.
Right.
And so this brother didn't want to have this happen. He could have had this happen and said, hey, I don't want to do it. I'll take the punishment or, the result of my actions and take this and be shamed in front of everyone, and everyone will know that I didn't want to do it. But he didn't try to do it the right way. He went into this woman, used her body, and then pulled his seed out. And so we're going to see what happens to him. So we'll go back into Genesis from there. But
okay, and it's like if I may, like I say, this is the Israelite culture, you know what I'm saying? This is not just you know what I'm saying, a brother being wicked, you know what I'm saying, and trying to go into his brother's wife because
Right.
that just seems cool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This continues our heritage. This makes our nation grow, you know what I'm saying, as a nation of people, as being Israelites. You know, this ain't just no wicked, you know what I'm saying, trying to be, you know what I'm saying, so-called a man and all this old crap, you know what I'm saying, that we learned from our oppressor. You know what I'm saying? This is our culture. This is what makes our nation grow, you know what I'm saying, and it extends our nation, not just, you know, something that sounds cool or something that is wicked, you know, learning from our oppressor.
Mm-hmm.
So we had verse 38, verse 9. So
I think we might be at 10 now. Did we finish now?
So we didn't finish it.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Lest that he should give seed to his brother. Okay, that's the end of 9. Verse 10. And the thing which he did displeased Yahweh, wherefore he slew him also.
Right. He slew him also because he was, you know, he's taking advantage of that woman basically at that point.
Right.
Now that is unrighteous. The whole purpose was to raise seed. It wasn't so you could just sleep with your brother's wife.
Right.
That was not the purpose. All right. But now we're going to jump to another topic, sidebar, Salakia. But this is the scripture that Christians use to say that you cannot, you know, masturbate. Salakia. All right. They say since he spilled seed, he got put to death. They say if you ever spill seed without going into a woman, then it's unlawful. But it wasn't about him spilling seed. It was about him not bringing up a son to his brother's wife.
Right, being honorable.
Exactly. So that's the sin that it was. So it is not unlawful to do that, you know, but just do it lawfully, man. Don't be watching no pornographic.
Exactly.
You know, don't do none of all that, man. Go off your mind state, your memory or something, you know what I mean? Or etc. If you married, you got a rib. So lucky if I may, you know, I was taught, hey man, you make your own movies, man. You when she gone, she out of town, watch your own movie, man. And you know what I'm saying? Handle your business. It's not unlawful, man. But that's what it is, all right. So Salaka for being a little graphic, but let's keep going.
Okay, verse 11, Genesis 38 and 11. Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow at thy father's house, till Salah, my son, be grown.
Mm-hmm.
For he said, lest peradventure he die also, and his brethren did.
Right. So he's saying we got a younger son. She's still going down the line. She still ain't going up the street. She ain't definitely ain't dealing with no heathens. That's what it says. So you don't bring a stranger into Israel. She's waiting for the next son to come and raise up seed to his brother.
So the sister is being righteous.
She's being righteous, man. She's being honorable. And like I said, if you compared it to being in the ISUPK, the sister ain't going back to the world just finding some nigga on the street. You in the truth, God forbid something happened to your Adawan, sit around and wait and raise up, see, you know, find a brother that's in the truth to be your husband. That's what I would advise. I mean, because what are you gonna gain if you get someone to work? And any righteous brother, you know, after he's gone, will want, you know, his woman to stay in the truth, so his children are saying the truth. So let's keep going.
So like if I may, what we gonna gain is confusion. That's what we're gonna gain out of it. It's confusion between, you know what I'm saying, that Reb doing the righteous thing, you know, not going, you know, out of the house of her brothers, you know what I'm saying? If we go out of the house of our brothers, we gaining confusion, you know what I'm saying? And that's how things is going to convert into Yahweh's not going to be with you. Right. You know what I'm saying? So let's stay, you know what I'm saying, within our culture, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, this stuff wasn't taught to us in these schools. This Bible wasn't broken down to us, right, you know, in this fashion that, you know what I'm saying, that's righteous to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? But we learn these ways of which our oppressor, you know what I'm saying? Do what you want to do and do how you want to do it. Don't matter what, you know what I'm saying? You can do whatever. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to get back to the scriptures, which is verse 38, Genesis 38 and 12. And in process of time, the daughter of Shuah, Judah's wife, died, and Judah was comforted and went up unto his sheep shearers
Mm-hmm.
to Timnath,
Mm-hmm.
and he and his friend Hira, and Hira the Adulamite.
Right. So, Judah, the grandfather, or, the father, Judah, his wife died, basically. So now we're going to do this one in, you can go ahead and do it in English. 21. 50. Oh, yeah, slightly. So 13. You go to 19 and 13 and 19.
Okay, Genesis chapter 38 and verse 13. And it was told Tamar, saying, Behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnath to shear his sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 14. And she put her widow's garment off from her and covered.
Oh, Salaki, go ahead.
And she put her widow's garments off from her and covered her with a veil.
But what is this telling you? Israelite culture, it let you know who was who. It was important. Women just weren't walking around. When we have our Passovers, they have a corsage. One is red for a woman to let people know that she's married. One is white for the sisters that are not married. So brothers aren't walking around, looking at this woman or maybe talking to this woman, and this is a married woman right here.
Right.
It is in Israel. This woman had garments to let the whole city, the whole town know she was a widow, that her husband had passed on. This is how you're supposed to treat her. This is how you're supposed to look at her. You know, it's a difference. She's not just some woman that didn't never had a husband, and she's just walking around like this. No, her garments let people know she was a widow. All right, let's keep going.
And so, like, if I may, she wasn't going into the goddamn club fucking twerking.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She wasn't going to the club twerking, you know what I'm saying, looking for any Tom, Dick, or Harry.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? This is an honorable woman, you know what I'm saying? She knew the custom, you know what I'm saying? She did what her custom calls for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And not just being in today's time, girl, come on, let's go to the club, and you put on the less clothes you can, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Adverse clothes you can put on, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying, do what you feel.
Right.
All that old, nonsense. You know what I'm saying? We have to get away from that. You know what I'm saying? We have to come back to our culture. We have to come back to our law, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? And do what the Most High wants us to do. Don't do what the world wants us to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We do what the world wants us to do. Just like, Thanksgiving, we doing what the world wants us to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That ain't our custom. It never was our custom. You know what I'm saying? Why would we want to celebrate the killings of our cousins? You know what I'm saying? Our native brothers, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The killing of 77 million Indians, you know what I'm saying? We don't know this, you know what I'm saying, because it wasn't taught to us.
Some Gadites are celebrating the killing of their forefathers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? We've been, you know what I'm saying, brainwashed, and led to believe, this is something we should be doing. No, this is not something we should be doing, celebrating these, pagan holidays. You know what I'm saying? Now it's Thanksgiving, and next is coming up is going to be Christmas. That's another pagan holiday. You know what I'm saying? So we have to understand, you know what I'm saying? Come into this ISUPK so you can get the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Of the Most High. Not just what the world teaches us, and being satisfied and comfortable and just doing what everybody else is doing what the masses is doing. You know what I'm saying? We've been led on too long what the masses is doing, and what have it's gotten us? We still getting killed in these streets. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We still being murdered. You know what I'm saying? With no justice. You know what I'm saying? All that, no justice, no peace. You know what I'm saying? But learn what we're supposed to do. Learn your heritage. You know what I'm saying? Learn what hasn't been taught to you. And ISUPK is teaching what hasn't been taught to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can come back to what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to continue from verse 14.
Right.
I covered her with a veil and wrapped herself and sat in an open place, which is by the way of Timnah.
Right. Read.
And she saw that Salah was grown. and she was not given unto him a wife.
Right.
Unto
She was
him
to wife.
to him to wife.
Right. So the youngest brother had grown up, and she was supposed to be given to him to wife. He was the next in line, but it didn't happen. So verse 15. Right.
Okay, verse 15. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be an harlot, because she had covered her face. Verse 16. And he turned unto her by the way and said, to go, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee.
Mm-hmm.
For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law.
Right. So he's trying to deal with her like she's a prostitute. Her face was covered. I'm thinking she was just going out covering her face so people didn't know who she was.
Right.
She was scoping the scene and seeing, okay, this brother is grown up, and they didn't give me to him like they said they were going to do. And I'm sure at this time there might have been heathens that are rolling around, and the ones that were harlots were the ones that were covering their face. The ones that were prostitutes were the ones that were covering their face. So he probably thought this was a heathen woman, or somebody that had their face covered was a harlot.
Right.
So he tried to purchase her. Let's keep going.
And she said, what wilt thou give me that thou mayest come into me?
Mm-hmm.
Come in unto me. Verse 17. And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. And she said, wilt thou give me a pledge till thou send it?
Right. So the pledge is like, what do we call that today? What's the word for that? Collateral. Okay. You give somebody, hey man, I'm gonna pay you on this day. Okay. Well, let me hold your PlayStation until you say you're gonna pay me back. Let me hold your PlayStation. When you come back, you can get your PlayStation, and then you're gonna pay me the money that you owe me. All right.
Verse 18, Genesis 38 and 18. And he said, what pledge shall I give thee? And she said, thy signet and thy bracelet, and thy staff that is in thy hand.
Right. So your signet, like his ring and his bracelets and his staff that's in his hand. All these things that you recognize a person from. It's also tradition we put it. When you have your staff, you write your name into the staff, or your tribe into the staff, and you know that's your possession. Let's keep going.
And he gave it her, and came in unto her, and she conceived by him.
Right.
Verse 19. And she arose and went away, and laid by her a veil from her, and put on the garment of her widowhood.
Right.
Verse 20. And Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend the Adulamite, and received his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found not her.
Right. So he went to go send his friend to bring her the money, basically, the goat that he promised her, and get back his possessions, but she was gone.
Okay, verse 21, Genesis 38 and 21. Then he asked the men of that place, saying, Where is the harlot that was openly by the wayside? And they said, there was no harlot in this place.
Right.
Verse 22. And he returned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. And also the men of the place said that there was no harlot in this place.
Right. We never even seen no prostitute around here. What harlot are you talking about? It wasn't nobody working around here. She just did that for a quick moment. It wasn't like there was, some streetwalker that was known and everybody had dealt with her.
Right.
There was no harlot to be found. Let's keep going.
Verse 23. And Judah said, let her take it to her, lest we be shamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and thou hast not found her.
Right.
Verse 24. And it came to pass about 3 months after that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar, thy daughter-in-law has played the harlot.
Right. So then people coming to him like, hey, Judah, Yahweh, man, your daughter-in-law is hoeing out here. She's being a bopper. She was supposed to be with your family, and she now found some other nigga and got pregnant. Let's keep,
Like my man.
yeah.
He said a bopper.
Yeah. She's
You know what I'm
bobbing
saying?
around, man. She a thought, as they
She a
say.
thought, right.
She's doing whole activities.
Right.
And that's what's so, like I said, the standard has been dropped for our women and our sisters today.
Right.
Like we said, we're not going to blame just our sisters.
Right.
A lot of these brothers are not doing the right thing.
Right.
But at this time period, a woman never had in her mind that she just is out here looking for ride, picking who she wants to deal with. It was always a man in between and deciding these things. And when men are involved in deciding who goes into our women, we've had a whole lot better choices. Women cannot pick men, period. A man can judge the character of a man way better, way quicker than a woman can. How do we know this to be true? Because look at who these women are. Men that their fathers would never say, hey, this brother can go into you.
Right.
You trying to get with Dante up the street, and he's selling dope, getting into shootouts, gang banging, in and out of prison. And that's the man you want to have the father of your children. And then you want to, after the fact, say men or niggas ain't SHIT.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When in reality, if you would listen to your father or a male figure, specifically a man of the Lord,
right,
that can guide you and say, hey man, this brother is the one you should be with. Don't worry about him having another woman. That's a lot of our sisters' issue. This man has another woman, so they don't want to deal with him. They want to deal with the man that they choose that has another woman.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, okay, priests and prophets and ISUPK said this brother's a good brother. Yeah, he has 1, 2 wives. You can be a number 3. But we know he's not going to do it. He's not going to beat you. He's not going to try to pimp you.
Right.
He's not going to leave you. He's not going to put drugs on you. You know, anything that is unlawful, he's not going to do with you. And so you have faith in Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian men again. But you making your own decisions, you done given up on the whole nation because you think that everyone is bad, and it starts this cycle. Now you raising up kids by yourself with no fathers,
Right.
and then that son grows up emotional, and he doesn't become a good man, and then now some other woman finds him and says, "Little niggas ain't SHIT again."
Right.
And that cycle continues. But
Right.
we go all the way back. We're gonna charge the oppressor for all of this.
Damn right.
You know, for destroying our families and taking our culture. Because if we knew this Bible, then we would have this
Right.
culture that will keep us together.
We've been following these customs, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Our ways, you know what I'm saying, to keep our nation going. Okay,
Right.
back to the scriptures. And also, behold, she is with child by whoredom.
Right.
And Judah said, bring her forth and let her be burnt.
Let her be what?
Burnt.
Let her be what?
Burnt.
Good night. Yahweh thou wasn't playing. Our forefather Judites out here.
Man.
Hey man, you know that this brother was, we talk about us being Judites. The spirit of your father is in you. The spirit of Judah. This is a nigga, man. Good night, Salagi. He didn't do something right. And he gonna get mad at somebody else for doing something wrong and getting ready to go 100 miles an hour on her. Let her be burnt. And this brother over here is sleeping with whores. You know what I'm saying? Didn't get the son to his daughter-in-law like he was supposed to do. And he is the first one pointing the finger trying to get her put to death. So let's keep going.
Verse 25, when she brought forth, she sent.
So when she was
brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, by the man whose these are. I am with child. And she said, discern, I pray thee, who are these? The signet and the bracelet and staff.
Right. The brother Nadazab out of Sacramento made a post about a little Boosie song and a dude is rapping the lyrics and making a skit out of it. And in the skit, he said, "Man, I'm in the house with my main girl, and then my young girl's outside with my drawers in her hand." You know what I'm saying? And he's like, "Now my baby mama tripping. You know, she tried to stab me and kick me out and all that. Like them, he can't deny those drawers in her hand. It's like." You know your baby mama done washed them. She done seen them before. You know what I mean?
What they look like.
It ain't like they just Fruit of the Loom and everybody knows that anybody can have them. They got a little hole in the side that you know that's the same hole she been washing all week, all month. That's your drawers, man. And you can't deny that you were with this woman. And so that's what she's doing. She said, whoever this signet, this ring, this bracelet, and the staff, like if you just had one thing, maybe I don't know, you should have got that from somewhere else.
Right.
But this is showing that you are the man that fathered this child. Let's keep going.
Okay, in verse 26, and Judah acknowledged them and said, "She has been more righteous than I."
She has what?
Been more righteous than I.
Keep going.
Because that I gave her not to Salah my son, and he went and he knew her again no more.
Right. So he knew he was supposed to do this, and that's where he's having a come to realization. Like, man, she was actually better than me. She didn't go away from this family. She wanted to be in this family so much that she was willing to trick me into doing it because I wasn't righteous, and I'm the first one trying to get her put to death. But in reality, she was more righteous than I. Let's keep going.
Okay, in verse 29, it came to pass as he drew back his hand, that behold, his brother came out, and she said, "How hast thou broken forth this breach upon thee? This breach be upon thee." Therefore his name was called Pharez.
Right.
Verse 30, and afterwards came out to his brother that had the scarlet thread upon his hand. His name was called Zerah.
Right. All right. And so that's pretty much the end of that. Let's see. Next week we'll start at the beginning of chapter 39.
39.
And we'll go into Joseph, how he got sold into Egypt, and his story from there. All right. Let's see. I have one couple precepts I wanted to pull real quick. We'll go to those and then we'll close out the class. Like, let's go to Matthew chapter 22 and verse 28.
Okay.
So this is another thing I would advise sisters, brothers as well. Stepfather wasn't in the Bible. Everybody that has a stepfather has not been a bad experience. There are brothers that are righteous that go out and get with a woman and marry a woman. There's nothing unlawful about it. I wouldn't say that. But the spirit behind it in America has gone completely evil, wicked. It's something other than what it's really supposed to be. What do I mean by that? You find a brother in ISUPK, he finds a woman that has children and is willing to raise those children. Most high in Christ to that brother. That's a brother that would have mentored and tried to teach these children the right way, regardless if he's with that woman or not. That's just something that a righteous brother would do. But in the world, this is what I'm talking about in the world. This whole concept of stepfathers, there have been studies that come out because they got this situation with Sierra and Russell Westbrook. And all the sisters and women want to give Russell Westbrook the credit because he's raising up this future child, and he's calling him daddy and trying to give him his last name. And they're saying his father is a deadbeat. His father is a goddamn millionaire. A deadbeat, he's not dead, he's alive. He can spend time with his son, may not be to your liking, but future is not just out of this boy's life like everyone is trying to make it seem. I'm sure he's providing financially, whatever it is. We become so spoiled in this culture, we don't realize men was going away for years to war. They wasn't spending time with their kids. Donald Trump is not spending time with his kids. All presidents don't spend every day with their goddamn kids, and they're not seen as deadbeat fathers because they're doing business and they're trying to build up their family. And so the point I'm saying is that sisters nowadays will try and use this fact that this man doesn't have these attributes they want, when in reality you chose this man with these attributes. You didn't have your father certify this man, and you went and chose to lay with someone that you feel like is not shit, they ain't ish. You need to lay with that. You made that bed, lay in that bed and deal with those situations. But going out and finding other men or leaving your man, Joe Muhammad brings this all the time. You leaving your man because he has other women to go get with another man. You want him to be the stepfather or the new boyfriend. Guess what? He's gonna molest your children. That's what's happening in the world. And that's not something that Joe Muhammad has made up. That is something that is a statistic. It's scientifically proven that I believe 40%. I don't want to get my numbers right, but I know it's together. You can say about 70% of young girls that have been molested or raped by a father figure is from the stepfathers. Bloodline fathers are not penetrating their daughters. It's such a low percentage. It's like 3%, 2%. It's very rare. But girls that grow up with men that are not related to them in the household, they ended up getting molested and raped by them because the women are out here picking this type of man. And this man in the world, like I said, not brothers in the truth, but this man in the world is that he has that spirit. He's not really trying to have his own thing. So he said, man, I'm gonna give this one. I'll save you. I'll take care of you. I'm gonna give you this. And I don't care about the kids. They can come. What he's really doing is planning to get to that daughter. He's planning to get to that son. He's acting like he's a good guy, and these sisters fall for this nonsense. And so they do this. So that's something I did want to bring to awareness. The brother said, Salakia. You said Salakia?
Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. Why you already done hit the point that I was trying to make.
Okay. And so, yeah, this is definitely something we've heard the stories, and the women, they don't want to accept that the man they brought has molested their children, and they stay with him. They don't stay with the man that had other women, but they stay with the man that is touching and molesting their children. So this is another thing in the Bible where it's showing you, man. You going, you stand in that pedigree. You stand in that line, man. You married this one brother. Your father chose him, a son of Judah, and you should stick with that family. Now, like I said, this will be more applying to the truth because today you never know in the world. You married to one brother, his brother might be selling dope and crack or doing all types of things. We wouldn't necessarily advise that. When we say brothers today, I would say stay in the truth. But let's go to Matthew 22 and 28.
28.
Huh. Or actually, you can move up some verses. So like go up a little bit where they come and question him. Like 22.
25.
Might be about 25. All right. Yeah, so 25.
Okay.
Or start at 24.
Okay, Matthew chapter 22, verse 24, saying, Master, Moses said, if a man die having no children, his brother shall marry his wife and raise up seed unto his brother. Verse 25, now there were with us 7 brethren, and the first, when he had married a wife, deceased, and having no issues, left his wife unto his brother.
Right.
Verse 26. Likewise, the second also, and the third unto the seventh.
Right. So one brother died, didn't have seed. The second one died, didn't have seed. The third one died, didn't have seed. All the way to 7 different brothers didn't have seed. Let's keep going.
Verse 27, and the last and the last of all the women died also. Verse 28, therefore in the resurrection, whose wife shall be of the 7, for they all had her.
Right. So they're trying to catch Yahushua up because Yahushua is teaching about reincarnation. And so they're saying reincarnation, whose wife will she be? Or, in the resurrection, whose will she be? But this is just, continuing and showing you that for one, that women going out and talking about my kids are fatherless, that nigga is in jail, man. My kids are fatherless. That nigga is in Compton. He is in East Oakland. You live in West Oakland. Your kids are not fatherless, man. What made a child fatherless was him being dead. That's what ended that marriage.
Right.
Really it's supposed to be death to you part. Woman lays with a man, she's with that man till death, unless he put her away. But she's supposed to stay with that brother and work it out. Too many sisters are getting upset over petty things and leaving and going picking another man,
Right.
acting like their kids are fatherless,
Right.
and this man is coming in and destroying their children even more.
Right.
Because she's being emotional.
Right.
And so this what determines the end of that marriage is that brother's supposed to die. That's what Christ is checking them and correcting them. And let's go read verse 29. This 29, is a very important scripture.
Salaki, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? And that's just what what I'm saying. We think that, the brother who is supposed to go on into her, what I'm saying, all he thinking about is just getting something, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He's not really living, or, what I'm saying, not to bag on a brother, so bad that, what I'm saying, because he don't know these scriptures.
Right.
But, what I'm saying, the brother is just thinking about just getting him something.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Being, so dishonorable over the whole fact of what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's all it is. You know what I'm saying? The world just taught us to be dishonorable. You know what I'm saying? You can do anything you want to, you know what I'm saying? So we have accepted this concept of, you know what I'm saying, just getting some is just getting some. And that's not what our culture is. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. There's a way that we're supposed to be doing things that's honorable to the Most High, so we can grow our nation, so the Most High will be honorable unto us, you know what I'm saying? And not just learning these goddamn wicked ways and just doing whatever we think, you know what I'm saying? The next man is saying, oh man, you cool, man, don't worry about that, you know what I'm saying? Right. Just do, you know what I'm saying? Get your son blood and, you know what I'm saying? Don't worry about her,
take the kids to Chuck E. Cheese and smash the mama.
Right,
And then brothers, the daughter, she getting a little bit older, man, and they trying to smash the daughter, man.
Man, that's disgusting, man.
You know what I'm saying? Evilness. And it's happening, and it's not just a one-time thing. So these sisters need to really take heed to these scriptures and continue in this culture that we have. So let's keep reading.
Okay, Genesis 22, verse 29. And Jesus answered and said unto them, ye do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of the Most High.
Right. Hold up. Ye do err doing what?
Not knowing the scripture.
This is a scripture we pull out to fake Israelite groups. This is something that it's like Sadducees and Pharisees. Just like if you watch Cross the Line radio this week and saw someone call in and try to challenge General Hyman in front of General Yohanan, try to challenge Captain Desariac in front of General Yohanan.
Right.
This brother, he erred not knowing the scriptures. This is what they were trying to always catch Christ up and use the Bible to make him look like he didn't know what he was talking about, like he was teaching something evil.
Right.
And that's what they were trying to do to Christ here, but he cut them because they didn't know the scriptures. And so that's something that we always got to study to show ourselves approved.
Right.
And definitely this is something you can always pull out against these brothers. And so he goes on and says, verse 30, for in the resurrection, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of the Most High in heaven. So, being brought back, you don't have any remembrance of what your former life was. That is over. It is not gonna be everyone sitting up in the sky and now she got seven wives or seven husbands. No, you being reborn again. They didn't understand reincarnation. They looking at it just like Christians. We going to heaven, sitting in the sky, and everybody there. Halo over here. Now she done got 7 men over here, and she the one woman. Now you got whoredom in heaven. So you think Moses was promoting whoredom? No, that's not what he was promoting. It's what made the marriage over was the death. And there's other scriptures that bring that out about like when it says that we follow in Christ, that it wasn't until he died that the new covenant came about. Because in death, it changes things. After the death, things are different. But that's
right, if I may.
Go ahead, please.
And just want to bring out, what I'm saying, and not all the time this is heathens, what I'm saying. Most of the time it's our people who come up against our people, what I'm saying, because we, just like the scripture saying in Genesis 22 and 29, not knowing the scriptures, you know what I'm saying? We don't know these scriptures, you know what I'm saying? So we fall up under, our oppressor and learning his ways and just, living out his ways instead of knowing these scriptures, coming back into, the power of the Most High and living how our race, how our heritage is supposed to live, you know what I'm saying? So we just grow up, you know what I'm saying? I could be, you know what I'm saying, the one to say, you know what I'm saying, learning the ways of our heathens, you know what I'm saying, doing the wrong thing, you know what I'm saying? But I thank the Most High for letting me come into this truth and learning, with the Most High to make our heritage, to make our nation, so grow as a nation, you know what I'm saying? So we have to come into, the knowledge of these scriptures, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, even our people, you know what I'm saying, most of our people reject, just like most of the people reject, Yahweh Shai and Moses, you know what I'm saying? But we have to come into this truth, you know what I'm saying? Be humble, you know what I'm saying? And not all the time speak before, you know what I'm saying, what these scriptures are saying. Listen. Yeah, willing to listen.
And so, like, if I made last point, I'll say it's just like the example what General Muhammad was bringing out last night. He said, "Do what we do, just follow what's being taught, and the precepts will come out later."
Right.
The minute ISUPK been around since 1969, there's no precept you're gonna pull that we haven't seen. There's no Bible verse you're gonna pull up that hasn't been broken down or verified already. And so, like the brother tried to bring out the scripture that says, "Don't drink alcohol in the temple or in the tabernacle," and he wanted to cut us because they see brothers in ISUPK drinking while they're teaching, and not knowing. He erred, not knowing the scriptures. General Muhammad pulled out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, got 15 other scriptures that are proving him wrong, but he thinks he's right because he found one scripture and didn't understand what he was reading, and then went and wanted to battle. And that's what these Pharisees were doing. He's like he said, you pulling out this scripture against me, you erred because you didn't know the actual Bible. And even more so, you don't know the spirit behind this Bible.
Right.
That's what Christ took it to another level. That's what ISUPK is always trying to show you, that there's a spirit behind this book. And if you are not judging it in the spirit, you're going to read something and you're going to take that. It said, don't drink alcohol in the temple. The other one says, don't drink water.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we supposed to not drink water ever again? Or is there's a deeper level to what's being said?
Exactly.
It's saying, don't be an alcoholic. Don't be drunk in the temple. That's what's really telling you. So, Most High Christ for ISUPK. I got to clap it up. That was a hell of a breakdown and a hell of a cutting body bag. You know what I'm saying? For General Muhammad, it was light work for him. But it's amazing to us brothers watching it happen. It's like us. I'd rather watch that than the NBA Finals and the Super Bowl.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? That was primetime television
for
me.
Ultra
you know what I
prime
mean? Because it's showing you how men of the Lord work, and it was a good thing to see Junior Hana as there as well, and just holding that whole thing down. So once again, that's pretty much it for me. If the
All
brother
right.
don't have any,
So like if I
go
may,
ahead, please.
I just have to bring out what that priest down in Texas, Amanyala, in Texas, you know what I'm saying? When he say in his intro, he said, whatever scripture you pull, you gonna cut yourself. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. Whatever scripture you pull, you gonna cut yourself. And that's just what he did. He thought he was pulling the scripture that was going, you know what I'm saying, cut the Most High and cut, ISUPK on what they bringing out. You know what I'm saying? Whatever scripture you pull, you gonna cut yourself. So I had to get that too. That freestyle probably got it, you know.
I haven't heard him say that. When he do that?
Yeah, he say that on his intro.
Boot up and shut up?
Yeah, boot up and shut up, yeah.
Okay.
Whatever scripture you gonna pull, you gonna cut yourself.
That's facts, man. This ISUPK. Undefeated.
I had to bring that out. That was just on me.
Undefeated.
Undefeated, man.
The word is sharper than a two-edged sword.
You know.
You trying to cut me, you gonna cut yourself.
You gonna cut yourself.
That's heavy, man. That should be a shirt. Yeah.
Woo. All
right. So like, if the brother have any questions real quickly or comment, we'll ask that over the phone. If not, we'll go close out this Sabbath stuff. Go ahead.
Did you ever get the breakdown from me for Ecclesiastes?
I did. You want to get that right now, real quickly?
Right out of time.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead. Can you pull up Ecclesiastes? Was it chapter 12 and verse 1? Yep. Yep.
Ecclesiastes, what was that?
Chapter 12 and verse 1.
Ecclesiastes 12 and 1.
Yep. And then that's exactly what we said. Like, if I haven't gone over it, the men above me have gone over it. They got the breakdown. This whole Bible has been broken down in ISUPK several times. Brothers just come new in the truth. You know, I don't have every verse. I'm here to learn. I'm a servant, but we do have these breakdowns, and so that's something. I'm not gonna freestyle the answer to you. I'm not gonna make up something on the fly. I'm gonna go get the UPK breakdown, and you know, Most High Christ with Captain Cornwall, you know, provide me for this breakdown. So
right.
Let's go ahead and read it.
Come. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth. Right.
Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. I had a few precepts. I didn't bring my book with me, so I gotta look it up real quick. It's in the book of Proverbs. Where's that at? Proverbs. Raise up a child.
Oh, okay.
Is it 22?
22 and 16?
Something like that. Let's see. If we can pull it up. Okay, mine's not coming up. Raise up a child, depart.
Okay, that's 22 and 6.
All right, go ahead, read.
Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
Right. So this precept right here goes perfectly hand in hand with Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1. When a child is raised up in the truth, and when he gets older, he will not depart. You building that foundation. You showing something. Why do people enlist they teach their children how to play football at a young age? Right. Because the earlier you teach something to someone, then when they get older, it's like second nature.
Right.
Basketball players that start trying to play basketball at 18, 20 years, they hardly ever go to the NBA. It's the ones that's been playing since they was 5 years old.
Right.
And it goes the same for wickedness, though. If you think about it, what's the movie Friday? Smokey said, "Call me Smoke Dog. I've been smoking since I was 2, nigga." You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and I used to think that was a movie and it was a joke till you grow up and see little babies. They had a little Asian baby smoking as a baby, you know. Maybe he wasn't lying. They are niggas in the hood. I've seen little babies on World Star smoking blunts, and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like
it's sickening, but
yeah, I thought it was just exaggeration in the movie, but he might not have been lying. He come from the hood and ghetto mama. He might have really been smoking at 2, 3 years old, man. So it's the same way. If you train up a child in wickedness, guess what? They're going to grow up and not depart from that wicked. It's going to be a whole lot harder. It's not impossible because all things are possible with the Lord, but it's going to be a whole lot harder for them to change their ways. But the same thing, if you raise a child up in righteousness, they'll grow up and they won't depart for that. So read that one more time.
Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
Right. So now let's go back to Ecclesiastes 12:1.
Okay. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth.
Right. It's a two-edged sword. It's also, you can be a youth, and no matter what age you are, when as far as coming to the truth. You come into the truth, you have a certain zeal for the Lord. I was told as a young man, don't lose that. Well, it wasn't even told to me, it was told to brothers that were already above me. I was a young man. They said, telling the brothers, don't lose that zeal you had as a young man. Right. And I didn't understand it because I was a young man. But when you coming into the truth, it's a zeal that, you come into class, you want to learn this and you looking up that and you want to do this work. You can't wait till you can go to camp. You can't wait till you can read on the podium. Then you can't wait till you can speak on the podium. And other brothers, that moved on forward, they can't wait till they can take out a camp. Like you're excited to move up in the truth, but you shouldn't lose that zeal the more as time goes, man. Remember the Lord in the days of your youth, when you were young, when you were trained up as a youth, if your parents raised you in the truth. When you get older, don't forget the Lord. So that's what this is bringing out. Let's keep going.
It's like, if I may, one perfect example, you know what I'm saying, is our sister Serena Williams. Just like her father brought her up in the tennis world, you know what I'm saying? And she became this star, you know what I'm saying? But she departed from the truth, you know what I'm saying? And, you know what I'm saying? Now that she's a grown woman, you know what I'm saying? She departed from the truth, and look what she, you know what I'm saying? She done married a heathen, you know what I'm saying? And took on these heathen customs. And that's what we have learned over time. You know what I'm saying? We depart from the truth. Right. You know what I'm saying? We get away from this truth, that the Most High, you know what I'm saying, that we go back to, you know what I'm saying? Just like, you know what I'm saying?
An example of that would be also is like King Solomon, that he was wise in his young age. When he got older, then he started to fall into sin and let his wise take him away from the truth. So that's what, let's read it in the full context.
Okay. While the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh.
Right. So what happens when you get older? They say you start counting your days. You count your years. It's when you're young, you're not thinking about the end of your life. You're not thinking about the end. You ain't counting, oh man, I only got about 58 more years left to live. Nah, but you get to 75, 80, you like, odds are I only got about 10 years. Make got 10 years, good 10 years, or 15, Lord a lot, but it ain't, you're getting closer to the end. It's not guaranteed. It's not, it's on your mind now. Okay. Now the years draw nigh. So when the evil days come, when you start having struggles and when you moving forward, like I said, it's not all about age. You're moving in truth. You're going to have things that come about that's going to try to shake you from following the Lord. Remember the Lord's in the days of your youth. When the Lord was good to you, everything was good, your knees working good, your back good, everything was fine. And the Lord was good, it was okay. But when things start going wrong, now you're going to turn on the Lord, you're going to forget the Lord, you're going to give up on the Lord because things aren't going the way that you remember it was. You want it to be. This is the time to be, hold your peace real quick. The time to be, the time to show your true loyalty to the Lord is when the things are going bad, not when it's all good. Now, go ahead. Go ahead, Doc. No sweat.
Okay.
You're smoking.
I was reading Job, I can't remember which one, but it was Job's wife that was talking to him, and he said, "How come you don't curse God and just go ahead and die?" And I think Job asked and said, "Can you always get good from the Lord?" So I'm paraphrasing.
I know what you're talking about. Right. Well,
you not get good without evil from the Lord?
right. You only want the good times. That's the same thing with marriages. You know, a lot of people
Right.
that loyalty. You're not loyal to the Lord. How you gonna be loyal to a man or to a woman? You know, is you only want good time. That's what America teaches you.
Right.
Is that everything's supposed to be the good times, happily ever after. But true love is going through struggle, going through sacrifice. Anybody that ever had children, knowing that children ain't all good times. It's not all good times, but love is the sacrifices you put up, the sleepless nights, giving up this and giving up that. That's showing true love. So if you really love the Lord, you're gonna love him when it's good and when it's bad.
Right.
And it's a lot, y'all. We go ain't no smoking in class, man. You know, we're gonna put a fine on you. You know what I'm saying?
Gonna bring up the
Okay. You know, we just messing with you too. You know, we messing with you and put you on blast like it's a lot here for me. I might be out of order. I might get a check-in after this. Somebody might call me on the line check me, man. But
we're just fucking with you.
All right, let's go to verse 2.
Could you give me that precept in Job, or do you not have it?
I'd have to find it.
Is it Job?
It's in Job. We say curse God and die. We can find that. We can find that after class. For time's sake, let's just go through these verses, and we'll. I can find that for you after class. Yeah, let's just keep going. Verse 2.
Verse 2. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 2. While the sun or the light or the moon.
Matter of fact, I think you go back to verse 1. It says, "When thou shalt say."
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we read that part.
Okay, well, Salaki, Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1. When thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them.
Right. So you're not having any pleasure in the days of your life. You're going through things, basically. You know, remember the Lord, how he was when you're youth, when you're going through things. All right, let's go to verse 2.
Verse 2. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after them, after the rain.
Right. So it's like the changing of the season. The sun is just like we are in the fall. It gets darker right now. And light comes out in the summertime, and different seasons and the seasons of life, the ups and the downs. The clouds don't return after the rain, and just all the different things of the ups and downs of life. That's what the book of Ecclesiastes is about, trying to show you the purpose of life. So, matter of fact, this is what Captain Quam did for me. He said we dropped down, and this is the class I actually taught the other day. Let's go down to Ecclesiastes 12 and 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that high.
Right.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the whole conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
Right. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. So
damn right.
This whole Ecclesiastes, when you read through it, it's talking about, man, this brother over here, he had his business, and he worked for this, and he was trying to impress women, and he was trying to be a military leader, and this person was trying to get money. And when they died, it's all vanity. It's all nothing. Who's some great person that we know? Who's somebody we can think of that was great that passed on? Michael Jackson. So like, he was known for the moonwalking and having millions and millions of dollars, almost billions of dollars. Now he's dead. And what was his life really about? It's if it wasn't about keeping the law, statutes, and commandments in the eyes of the Lord, it's nothing. And I realized that, like me growing up under Michael Jackson, I thought it was settled. He was the greatest entertainer of all time. That's how it's going to be for the next 1,000 years. But it's only been 10 years since he died, and people started saying Beyonce had a better performance than Michael Jackson. I'm like, I would have never, in my mind, I can't even imagine that. But as time goes on, the kids and the next generation, they don't care about him. They're not believing in that. Me growing up, Tupac was the greatest rapper of all time. And then you get later and you got some white boy, what was his name? I can't remember his name. He talking about F Tupac. His music was born. No, it wasn't Eminem. It was another one. He was one of them little pumps or little pills, or he's Lil Xan. No, it was Lil Xan. Lil Xan. He's like, he say he's a Mexican. He look like a white boy. I'm not sure if he really is. It's correct. But he said Lil Xan came out and said Tupac's music was boring. He don't care about Pac's music. So we thinking when you alive, you're doing all this great works, but after you die, it's really for nothing because the generation's gonna pass, time's gonna pass. People are not gonna care about who you are, what you've done, as much as when you were here. So the whole duty of your life is to keep the commandments. If you're not doing the work of the Lord, you're wasting your life as a Black, Hispanic, or Native American Indian. So let's go back to verse. We'll drop down to verse 3. All right. 12 and 3. Ecclesiastes 12 and 3.
Ecclesiastes 12, verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few,
Right.
and those that look out of the windows be darkened.
Right. So it's saying this is when this trouble is coming. In the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, people that are watching over the house and guardians or whoever, they're scared now. And the strong men shall bow themselves. Does that sound right, Doc? Should strong men bow themselves? No. That's me. Go ahead.
No, I didn't know that my phone keeps pulling it out.
Okay. Yeah, strong men shouldn't bow themselves. That means something is going wrong. They're in fear. That means something as big has happened to make the strong men weak. And the grinders cease because they are few. The people that are working and handling business, it's all stopped. Just like we see the coronavirus, the streets get shut down. Nobody's out doing things because something is plaguing America. And those that look out the windows be darkened, the watchers once again. So let's keep going to verse 4.
Okay. So 12, verse 4. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low.
Right. So the doors of the streets shall be shut, what does it say? The doors shall be shut in the streets. It's just like I said, you see in coronavirus things that are getting shut down. This is just bad times are coming, and this is the time for you to remember the Lord. Basically, from the first scripture dropping down to 13 is the whole goal is to keep the commandments. That should be the whole duty of man.
Damn right.
And if you're not doing that in these times, you're gonna forget the Lord. Let's keep going. Verse 5.
Verse 5. Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fears shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man goeth to his long home, and the mourners go about the streets.
Right. So also when they shall be afraid, this is when things are getting bad, and of that which is high, people that are above, or like we said, the American government or the Roman Empire is coming down on you. You're afraid of those people that are high, and fear shall be in the way. Nobody wants to do anything or stand up because they're in fear. And the almond tree shall flourish. We know trees always represent these other nations, and they represent, these other people in power. And the grasshopper shall be burdened. So now us, the small ones, we're gonna be burdened. And desire shall fail. We don't want to do anything because man goeth to his long home. What's the long home? That's like a symbolism of dying, or being in death, or that's the long home. Also, people that would be longing for their home or wanting to return home, they've been away. And the mourners go about in the streets. Like I said, it's like death. People are going out mourning because of the tragedy that's happening that you're seeing. So let's go to verse 6.
Verse 6. Or ever the silver cord be loosened, or the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be broken at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the at the cistern.
Right. You think about a silver cord or a golden bowl, that means things are going good. If you got a golden bowl, that means things are going good. But now it's been broken, so things are going bad. Let's verse 7.
Okay. When then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto the Most High who gave it.
Right. So then everything is come to the conclusion, and now you're seeing, this is it. So what is the precept for that? I think is Genesis chapter 3 and verse 19.
Genesis chapter 3 and verse 19. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread till thou return unto the ground, for out of it was thou taken, for dust thou art, and dust, and unto the dust shalt thou return.
Right. So this is talking about Adam. He was raised up from the dust and brought to a higher state. And then when he committed sin, he was brought to a lower state.
Right.
From the dust you were brought out from out the mud, back to there you return. Also symbolizing death as well. We come, we eat food, that's where our body's made up. But when we die, we go back into the ground and you become dirt again. Become fertilizer or whatever. And so it says, so from dust you're going to return to the earth, and the spirit shall return unto the Most High who gave it. Right. That spirit of righteousness that brought you into the truth. If you're not remembering the Lord and you straying away from that, that spirit's going to be taken away from you, going back to the Lord. And same thing as dying, it goes back to the Lord to be judged. Your spirit goes amongst the Most High off of what you did as you were alive. So verse 8.
Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, all is vanity.
Right. You go into the Strong's Concordance and look up the word vanity. It means like futileness, nothingness. Exactly. Right. Your whole life was about nothing. Right. Because you didn't make it about the Lord. You raising up the nation, you helping Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Your life is about something. Even though you're dead, what you've done lives on. The spirit you put into other brothers and built them up, that's going to live on, and they're going to build up the next, and they're going to build up the next, and it's never going to die, and we're going to get this kingdom, and it's going to be forever. That means something. But you saying you had a Bentley, like who cares about a Model T Ford right now? Right. I mean, if you in the classic cars and all that, and you can sell one and make a lot of money, but nobody wants to ride around a goddamn Model T Ford. You think in the year 3000 people gonna care about the Bentley you had in 2020, or the Lamborghini you had, or the technology, the new watch? Nobody gonna care about none of that stuff. It's vanity. It means nothing. But if you help brothers build up this kingdom, and 1,000 years from now they still putting in bricks and Yahweh shall return, and man, what you did was important. It was valuable. So it's saying vanity of vanities, said the preacher. What's another word for preacher? A teacher. That's what we are in ISUPK. We're telling you that all that stuff is about nothing. Verse 9.
And moreover, because the preacher was wise.
Right. The teacher was wise, man. The teachers in the UBK are wise. Keep going.
He still taught the people knowledge, yea.
Mm-hmm.
He gave good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs.
Right. So he gave the people knowledge. He took good heed. He sought out. He's following the law, statutes, commandments, and teaching the law, statutes, commandments. Verse 10.
The preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright, even words of truth.
Right. So this preacher, his goal is to do what's right and teach what's right. Verse 11.
The words of the wise are as gods. What is
it?
Golds.
Mm-hmm.
And as nails fastened by the master of assemblies, mm-hmm. which are given from one shepherd.
Right. So it's like things that are mastered. The nails that are posted up on the wall, it's something that's it's just stationary. It's gonna be standing the test of time. It's up there, and it's like, what is the word it said? Fastened. That means it's stable. All right, the things that they're teaching. Verse 12.
And further, by these, my son, be admonished of making many books. There is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh.
Right. So we want to study Islam. You want to forget the power of your youth. You want to forget the God of the Bible. You want to go in Islam. There's even a brother that was battling Captain Zaryak or on Sinetta talking about. I used to be a Hebrew Israelite, but it was so much more knowledge out there that I wanted to go into this and learn into that. All of this different stuff is not helping you. It's not helping our people. So all this knowledge that you think you're gaining is really not doing a goddamn thing for you. So once again, verse 13.
Let us hear the whole conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High, and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
Right. This is the whole duty of your life. To keep the commandments, fearing the Lord. Now, verse 14.
Verse 14 is, man, for the Most High shall bring every work into judgment, with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
Right.
Let me see.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. For God shall bring every work. So everything that you're trying to do, the Most High is going to bring into judgment.
Right.
With every secret thing, the things that you don't know about, whether you're trying to do good, whether it be good or whether you do evil, whether you're trying to do good or whether you trying to be evil, the Most High is going to bring you into judgment. And if you're doing good, you know what I'm saying, you're going to get good. If you're doing evil, you know what I'm saying, the Most High is not going to be with you, and you're going to get evil.
Right.
You're going to get an evil, you know what I'm saying, you're going to get His judgment.
And when it says secret thing, you think you're getting away with something.
Right.
Just because the police didn't catch you because you killed the nigga.
Right.
Doesn't mean the Lord didn't see that thing.
Right.
Just because the police didn't catch you, sleeping with this man's wife, don't mean the Lord didn't see it. You know what I mean? So it don't matter. There's no hiding from the Most High. That's what I took from that part too. But yeah, that was. You want to keep going on that one a little bit more?
That was it.
Okay, whether it be good or evil, exactly.
Yeah. Whether it be good, if you're trying to do the good thing, you know what I'm saying, whether it be good, you're trying to do a good thing, you know what I'm saying, or whether it be evil, you know what I'm saying, just like he said, you're trying to sleep with a brother's wife, you know what I'm saying, doing all this wicked stuff, you know what I'm saying, the Lord is going to bring you into judgment. You know what I'm saying, you doing good, you doing, whether it be good, you know what I'm saying, you knowing these laws, statutes, and commandments, that's the good thing. You know what I'm saying, but if you trying to do evil, whether it be evil, whether it be evil, you know what I'm saying, the Lord, you know what I'm saying, you don't get the Lord's judgment on being evil.
Right. Exactly. There's no hiding. So the last point he's saying, if it's good, the Lord's gonna know about it, you'll get rewarded, even if it's secret. Nobody ever saw you help this person out, or you didn't get credit because you did this, or you didn't get a rank raise because of that. Like, it doesn't matter, you worrying about all that. The Lord saw it, and you're gonna get judged for it. You're gonna get your just due, whether good or bad. So that's the most important thing. So fear the Lord. That's the whole duty of man. Once again, keep the commandments. Don't worry about all these other things in the way that's getting you sidetracked and distracted.
Islam, you know what I'm saying?
Anything.
All that old stupid crap, you know what I'm saying? That's trying to waver your judgment, waver your understanding.
Right.
Make you believe what they want you to make believe, what they want you to believe.
So that's it, Doc, for that breakdown. Hopefully that can help you out. For time's sake, we're gonna close out this class. But if you have any more questions, just give me a call a little bit later. Okay. All right.
That being said, we're gonna say Amajim. Laya Sharala. say the Lord's Prayer. So Hapam Hakwadam will face the east.
Wapanya Hakwa.
Wapam Hakwadam face the east. We'll start with the Lord's Prayer. All right, Abanaw.
Abanaw.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kodash.
Kodash.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Shemka.
Shemka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malakwaka.
Malakwaka.
Baba'ah.
Baba'ah.
Ratazaka.
Ratazaka.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Ba'aratazah.
Ratazah.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Bashamayim.
Shemayim.
Lathalanaw.
Thalanaw.
Lakam.
Lakam.
Kal.
Kal.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Wasalaknaw.
Wasalaknaw.
Kabawatnaw.
Kabawatnaw.
Kasalaknaw.
Kasalaknaw.
Kabawath Yinaw.
Kabawath Yinaw.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Tawayanaw.
Wala'ah.
Manasaya 1.
Manasaya 1.
Abal.
Abal.
Awashai now.
Awashai now.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Rai.
Rai.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Laka.
Laka.
Amalakwa.
Amalakwa.
Wahala.
Wahala.
Wahatapara.
Para.
Wa'awalamya.
I will love you.
Amen.
Amen. All right. In the English, our Father,
Our Father,
which art in heaven,
which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done
Thy will be done
in earth
in earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day
Give us this day
our daily bread.
our daily bread.
And forgive us our debts
Forgive us our
as
debts
we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our
And
debtors.
lead us not
And lead us not
into temptation,
into temptation,
but deliver us
but deliver us
from evil.
from evil.
For thine is the
For
kingdom
thine is the kingdom
and the power
and the power
and the glory
and the glory
forever.
forever.
So be it.
So be it. All right, we're going to bless Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
How about Shem Yahushai?
Barak Lanawa.
Barak now.
Baya Shamala.
Yasharah.
Bahaya Bayat.
Baharayah.
Saparia.
Saparia.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapah.
Rapah.
Bahashem Yahushai. Okay. Rapah.
Rapah.
Magan.
Magan.
Hagan.
Magan.
Bahashem Yahushai.
Shem Yahushai.
The water
The
man.
water of mine. All right. In the English, all right. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of
In
Yahushai.
the name of Yahushai.
Bless us.
Bless us.
And Israel.
And Israel.
And the school.
And the school.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Shield.
Shield.
Protect.
Protect.
The Williams
The
family.
Williams family.
The Hopkins
The
family.
Hopkins family.
The Fuller
The
family.
Fuller family.
The house of Kasar Pakar.
The house of Pasar Bakad. The Warren
The
family.
Warren family.
The Price
The
family.
Price
The
family.
Taylor family.
The Taylor family.
That's it.
All right. Brother, if you have anybody over the phone you want us to pray for, you can say that right now. Huh?
My dad and my mom.
All right. The father and the mother of young man Leo.
The father and mother of young man Leo.
All right. The house of young man Leo.
The house of young man Leo.
All right. Is that it, Up? All right. In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
All right.
We're going to Hakak the power. Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Babu Kushah.
Baruch Kasha.
Athalanawa.
Thunder now.
Hakak.
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 Arapa'ah.
Arapa'ah.
Kal Makala.
Kal Mahala.
Kal Madawa.
Kal Madawa.
Hakak.
Hakak.
Latahar.
Latahor.
Hamatazarian.
Latazorian.
Hakak.
Hakak.
Lahakwin.
Lahakim.
Hamatin.
Amatim.
Hakak.
Hakak.
Al Rakawa.
Awakawa.
Hamata'ala.
Amata'ala.
Lagarashan.
Garish.
Bahashim Yahushua.
Shem
The
Yahushua.
water Aman.
The water of man. All right. What we said in English was Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of
In
Yahushua.
the name of Yahushua.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
Power to heal.
The power to heal
All manner of sickness.
all manner of
And
sickness.
all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the leper.
The power to cleanse the
The
leper.
power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean
To
spirits.
cast them out.
To cast them out.
In the name of
In the
Yahushua.
name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. All right, we're going to do the blessings. Barak.
Barak.
Atah.
Atah.
Yahweh wa Yahushua.
Yahweh Yahushua.
Wa Maka'ala.
Vaya Makala.
Waha. Let me see. Wa Alahayim.
Wa Alahayim.
Hamatazabia.
Amatazavia.
Alawap Yahana.
Alawap Yahana.
Alawapian.
Alawapim.
Asaranya.
Asaranya.
Akwatazanyanya.
Akwatazanyim.
Akak Yayam.
Akal Yalam.
Wakiam.
Akwafian.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
The water
The
man.
water of man. All right. In the English, what we said was, bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahushua.
And Yahushua.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yohana.
Commanding General
The
Yohana.
generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captain.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh in the name of Yahushua.
Yahweh in the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. All right. Psalms 121. Asha'a,
Aisha,
Ayanya,
Ayanya,
Al-Hahariya,
Ahoya,
Mahayan,
Mahayan,
Yaba'a,
Yava'a,
Izaria,
Azoria,
Izaria,
Azoria,
Ma'an,
Ma'an,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Shamayam,
Shamayan,
Wa'aratazar,
Rataza,
Al-Yadan,
Yatan,
Lamawat,
Lamawat,
Regalka,
Regal,
Al-Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Hana,
Hana,
La'a,
La'a,
Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yayashan,
Yashan,
Shawamar,
Shawamar,
Yasharala,
Yasharala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazalka,
Tazalka,
Al-Yah,
Ayah,
Yamyaka,
Yamyaka,
Yamawam,
Yamawam,
Hashamash,
Hashamash,
La'a,
La'a,
Yakaka,
Yakaka,
Wayarak,
Wayarak,
Balayala,
Walayala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Makel Rai,
Alrai,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Afna Pashka,
Afna Pashka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Taza Afka,
Taza Afka,
Wabawa Afka,
Wabu Afka,
Ma'if,
Mahai,
Wa'ai Awalan,
I Awalam. Right. What we just said, Psalms 121 in English. I will lift up mine eyes
I will lift up my eyes
unto the hills.
unto the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from
My
Yahweh,
help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be
He
moved.
will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right
The
hand.
sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee
Yahweh shall preserve thee
from all evil.
from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in
and thy coming in
from this day, from this time forth,
from this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore. All right, Psalms 83. Alahayim,
Alahayim,
Al-Damayalaka,
Al-Damayalaka,
Al-Tatarash,
Al-Takarash,
Al-Tashakwat,
Al-Tashakwat,
Al-Kayahana,
Al-Kayahana,
Wahayabyaka,
Al-Yabyaka,
Yahama,
Yahama,
Yawam,
Yawam,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash,
Al-Amika,
Alamaka,
Yariyam Yawa,
Ariyamwa,
Sawadah,
Sawadah,
Wayatha,
Wayatha,
Aitazawa,
Tazawa,
Al-Tazapon Yaka,
Tazapawan Yaka,
Amarwa,
Amor,
Lakawa,
Lakawa,
Wanakakidam,
Kakidam,
Magalia,
Magaya,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yazakar,
Yazakor,
Shamrasharala,
Sham Yasharala,
Iwada,
Iwada,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Na'aitazawa,
Aitazawa,
Laba,
Lava,
Yakatwa,
Yakatwa,
Al-Yaka,
Ayaka,
Baryath,
Boria,
Yarakwa,
Yarakwa,
Yarathwa,
Yaraf,
Yakarwa,
Yakarwa,
Alahaya,
Alahaya,
Adamwam,
Adawam,
Wayashamai,
Wayashamai,
Alayam,
Aliyam,
Mawa'aba,
Wawawa,
Wahagaria,
Wahagaria,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Wa'amawan,
Wa'amwan,
Wa'amalak,
Wa'amalak,
Alashat,
Alashah,
I'm Yeshaya,
I'm Yeshaya,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Gamasha War,
Ramasha War,
Nalawa,
Nalawa,
Imam,
Imam,
Hayawa,
Hayawa,
Zarwai,
Zawai,
Labanya Lawai,
Labanya Lawat,
Salah,
Salah,
Ashalaham,
Ashalaham,
Kaimadian,
Kamadi,
Kasaya Sara'ah,
Kasaya Sara'ah,
Kayabyan,
Kayabyan,
Bonakal,
Amakal,
Kwayashwan,
Yashwan,
Nashamadwa,
Shamadwa,
Ba'ayadara'a,
Ba'ayadara'a,
Hayawa,
Hayawa,
Daman,
Daman,
Ladama,
Ladama,
Shayatamwa,
Shayatamwa,
Nadaya Mawa,
Nadaya Mawa,
Ka'ara,
Ka'ara,
Wakaza'aba,
Wakasa'aba,
Wakazaba,
Wakasaba,
Wakatazal,
Wakatazal,
Mana'ai,
Mana'ai,
Ka Nasaya Kamwa,
Ka Nasaya Kamwa,
Ashar,
Ashar,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Nashaira, Nayarasha,
Nayarasha,
Lanawa,
Lanawa,
Nalawat,
Nalawat,
Alahaya,
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 Shayatamwa,
Shayatamwa,
Kagalgula,
Kagagula,
Kakwash,
Shakwash,
Lapunya Raraka,
Lapunya Raraka,
Talahat,
Talahat,
Harayam,
Mariam,
Khan,
Khan,
Daradakma,
Dakma,
Basa Irika,
Basahirika,
Wabawasa Wapaska,
Osawa Pafka,
Dalaham,
Alaham,
Mala'a,
Mala'a,
Panyaham,
Panyaham,
Kualawam,
Kualawam,
Wayabakwashwa,
Wayabakwashwa,
Shimka,
Shimka,
Yahawa,
Yahweh,
Yabashwa,
Yabashwa,
Wayabahawa,
Ayabahawa,
Ayai,
Ayai,
Waya Kaparwa,
Waya Kaparwa,
Waya Abadwa,
Waya Badwa,
Waya the Iowa,
Waya the Iowa,
Kaya Ata,
Kaya Ata,
Shimka,
Shimka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Labatka,
Badka,
Al Yawam,
Al Yawam,
Al Kaharataza.
Al Kaharataza. All right, in the English. Keep not thou silence.
Keep not thy silence.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
hold not thy peace,
hold not thy peace,
and be not still.
and be not still.
My power.
My power.
Oh, it's like, O power.
O power.
For lo,
For
thine enemies make a tumult,
thy enemies make a tumult,
and they that hate thee
and they that hate
have
thee
lifted up the head.
have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel
They have taken crafty counsel
against thy people,
against thy people,
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
come,
come,
and let us cut them
and
off
let us cut them off
from being a nation,
from being a nation.
that the name of
That the
Israel
name of
may
Israel
be no more in
may be
remembrance.
no more remembrance.
For they have consulted together
For they have consulted together
with one consent.
with one
They
consent.
are confederate against
They
thee,
are confederate against
the
thee.
tabernacles of
The
Edom,
tabernacles of Edom
and the Ishmaelites,
and the Ishmaelites
of Moab,
of Moab
and the
and
Hagarene,
the Hagarene,
Gabal,
Gabal
and Ammon,
and Ammon
and Amalek,
and
the
Amalek,
Philistines,
the
with
Philistines,
the inhabitants of
with
Tyre.
the inhabitants of Tyre.
Asher also is joined with them.
Asher is also joined with
They
them.
have hope in the children of
They
Lot.
have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah,
Salah.
do unto them as unto the Midianites,
Do unto them as unto the Midianites,
as to Sisera,
as to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to Jack,
at the brook of
the
Kishon,
brook of Kishon,
which perished at Endor.
which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a red,
Make their nobles like a
and
red,
like Zeb.
and like Zeb.
Yea,
Yea,
all their princes as Zabah,
all the princes as Zabah,
and as Almunah,
and as Zalmunna,
who said,
who said,
let us take to
let
ourselves
us take to us
the houses of
the
Yahweh
houses of Yahweh
in possession.
in possession.
O my power,
Hold my power.
make them like a wheel,
Make them like a wheel,
as the stubble before the wind,
as a stubble before the
as
wind,
the fire burneth the wood,
as a fire burneth the
and
wood,
as the flame set the mountains on
as
fire.
the flame set the mountains on
So
fire.
persecute them
So persecute
with
them
thy tempest,
with thy tempest,
and make them
and
afraid
make them afraid
with thy storm.
with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with
that
shame,
they may seek thy name.
that they may seek thy
O
name.
Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
let them be confounded
let them be confounded
and troubled
and troubled
forever.
forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame
let them be put to shame
and perish,
and perish,
that men may know
that men may know
that thou,
that thou,
whose name
whose
alone
name alone
is Yahweh,
is Yahweh,
art the most high
art the most high
over all the earth.
over all the earth. All right. Star, which means turn. I want to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Amadu Shabbat, Amaju, Barak, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah, Barakatah.
Right? Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Brakathum.
All right, men of Israel, I want to give one courtesy to the sisters out there. Men of Israel, Amadu Shabbat, Amaju, Barak, Yahweh Shemar, Alatham, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Yazamatah, class dismissed.
Shalom, Most High Christ.